Young Gun, a podcast about Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. I'm Demetri, a Bama grad. She is Lauren Brownlow, the biggest Panthers fan I know. And unfortunately, quite some time ago, we made the decision to talk about a team or talk about the team by putting a microscope on their new franchise quarterback.
Sorry. Like the way you said that.
Lauren, this is, listen, I have not week to week been somebody that is throwing my hands up and complaining that they have Bryce Young instead of CJStroud like everybody else.
No.
This was an extraordinarily bad week.
That was not a good week for Bryce in the old narrative department. Just real bad. Really ill-timed. Because literally it has erased everything that happened the week before in everybody's minds. Because now all of a sudden I'm getting, are there deep concerns because of what CJStroud did? And I'm sitting here thinking okay, if you want to say there's concerns in that, did they draft the wrong guy? That's one. But if you're trying to make me panic about Bryce specifically because of CJStroud, I just think you're looking at it the completely wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll dive into that more in just a moment. But, I don't think a serious person can look at it and say there are concerns because of CJStroud. Certainly there is jealousy because of what CJStroud is
which
doing.
I understand.
And there's definitely not jealousy, but there are definitely concerns of, will Bryce get it together? Will Bama Bryce ever come to the Panthers?
Or is he even capable of that? Right. That's kind of my larger concern at the moment. All I want to say off the top is if you're going to tweet me or ask me questions like that and frame it that way, it's hard for me to take it very seriously because what if Bryce had 300 and some yards and they'd won the game? Yeah. Are you still tweeting me that? If not, then who cares? Bryce played poorly. Full stop. Yeah. Why does it have to do with what if CJStroud had a terrible game and so did Bryce? Why are you asking it in that way? It literally does not matter now that they have Bryce. Right. It does not matter what, good for them. I hope they didn't take the wrong guy. I hope they didn't. I don't feel like we can know that 100% for sure yet. Call me crazy. But at the same time, it's that's fine if you want to frame that way, but that's not the way people have been framing it to me. It's are you panicking about Bryce because of CJStroud? And I'm I never panicked about Cam Newton because of what Tom Brady did. Why? I don't understand this line of questioning. Yeah, I completely agree with you. We're going to get more into the CJStroud day in just a minute. First, I do want to tell you about Graffiti. They are the ones that make this show possible. 158 East Cedar Street in downtown Cary. Look, on a day like yesterday, when things are going as bad as they are, Graffiti is the best possible place to watch a game. Lots of alcohol needed.
Not only lots of alcohol, lots of great alcohol. Yes. On special. You know about their Sunday specials. Bourbon pours, $10, $9, and $8. Different levels there. Plus 19 TVs, weekly prize giveaways, weekly beer specials, and axe throwing. So if things get as bad as they were yesterday, you can throw something deadly at a wall. And it makes you feel so much better. Plus, the staff there is always great and always takes care of us when we're there.
I'm not going to say anything about what I just envisioned for the axe throwing potential addition.
Frank Reich?
No, actually, David Tepper.
He does offer you a bigger target with his head.
Oh, 100%.
Which I think he would hate to hear us say, but must be acknowledged.
Good.
He's bald.
Hope he hears it.
Listen, and as a man that is owned being bald, I resent men that just will not give up the fight.
Yeah.
Not resent. I just judge them as weaker than me.
I think that's fair.
All right, fair. 158 East Cedar Street in downtown Cary is Graffiti. We hope you spend next Sunday watching football with them. Lauren, do I even have to ask you if Bryce was too short this week? It seems like an obvious, resounding yes.
He wasn't enough of anything this week. Just period.
He had, listen, I want to give him all the credit in the world.
To be fair to him, though, I don't know what height would have really done to help him all that much this week specifically. But yeah, I
would give him all the credit in the world for those 2 third down runs where he just put his shoulder down and tried to get that last extra yard. But anything other than that was just bad. I mean,
bad.
Look, there were times that his receivers let him down. That drop
for sure
by Miles Sanders. where it was literally in his numbers.
When he finally decided that he was going to show up and be useful this week, which is nice. And it does make me think like maybe he was banged up. You saw some speculation about that.
Yeah.
It would make sense, although then it's on the coaching staff and not him.
Right.
For the way he performed earlier in the season. But like, I was like, are you serious, man?
Yep.
You owe us a lot more of those catches.
Agreed. There was a route where Jonathan Mingo ran, stopped, and if he had just stepped 2 steps backwards, would have caught the ball and didn't.
Yep.
Those aren't Bryce's fault. Those pick sixes,
those were early too. Like, and that's the problem. Like, it devolved. It digressed.
It got so bad. I told you after week 1, I had not seen him play that bad before.
Yeah, and then you see it again.
Lauren, I've not seen him play this bad before.
Ever.
This was so much worse.
Yeah, this was really bad. I mean, I had like, yes, we talk about Bryce Young on this podcast. I realize I'm wearing although it's a little ironic. Yeah, maybe I definitely need some icing.
Yeah,
so look, he wasn't good.
No.
I mean, just the picks were awful. Like awful.
Yes.
A lot of times you can be like, oh, well, maybe there was miscommunication here, this, that, and the other. But like, I didn't see a whole lot of mitigation when you watch those plays over again of like, and some of the overthrows were bad. Like,
there were 2 overthrows on the sideline that were ridiculous.
Yes. And I'm like, dude, and the thing is, and this was my concern after week 1, which to be fair to him, he largely kind of calmed down after week 1 until now, is that when things get difficult within the game, I feel like it gets to him.
Yes, 100%.
And it makes him devolve. And the thing is, with this roster as it's currently constructed, that can't happen.
Yep. This is like the classic case of he is not used to failing like this often. On a team level. And so it gets to him in a big way. There were times, there were some of those passes that you look at and go, well, he was doing everything right. But I think that was the minority this week as opposed to the majority.
And the problem as well, and this, I feel like play calling has to play at least somewhat of a role in this, is that, this was one of the worst secondaries in the NFL.
Yes.
Like literally Colts people I know are like DMing me and they're like, why are the Panthers like this right now? Like, this is a horrendous secondary. Why aren't they like max protecting for Bryce Young and just sending out a couple of receivers and gashing them? Because that's what everyone else has done to them all year. Don't know. Mystery.
Look, Thomas Brown knows way more about what his game plan is and what his goal is than I do. So I'm not second guessing him, but coming off of the fumbled punt return, when suddenly the Panthers, who couldn't move the ball, now have it.
Never.
In plus territory. I was shocked you didn't take a shot and try and build on the momentum, build your young quarterback's confidence, build your offense's confidence in that moment.
Seriously, make a big play.
Yeah.
Do something. I'm like, I'm the meme poking it with a stick. Just offense, do something.
All right, it has to be acknowledged. CJStroud, 30 for 42, 470 yards passing and 5 touchdowns. It was an amazing day. Plus,
when I saw the numbers and I kind of saw, well, to be fair, when Cam had a game like this, I know, whatever, it's fine. I only say this because I wasn't sure if he broke Cam Newton's rookie record, because it was 400 plus in his first game at Arizona. They did not win, though.
Right.
It was a close game, though. And that was when you watched and you were like, this dude is special. Like, I don't even care what he does the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
We see it. And when you have a game like that as a rookie, that's part of the problem for Bryce, right? Is like, even in the wins, even when he's played well, the stats haven't looked nearly as impressive. Obviously, now there are reasons for that, and we talked about some of them last week with him having a better offensive line and certainly some more interesting weapons, some better utilized weapons at the very least. And I mean, so in that way, like, it was cool to see that for him. Like, I've talked about it a bunch. I didn't know which one to pick. Like, I probably would have leaned a little more Stroud, but then there's, the whole, and it's a dumb narrative, but like the Ohio State quarterback thing. And you're like, well, look at Justin Fields. I thought he was great. So I don't know. But like Stroud, if they would have drafted Stroud, I would have been perfectly happy. I didn't have a huge problem with Bryce Young, though. Like, I really didn't. But obviously, when you have a game like this, it's almost like you've officially arrived,
And that's the thing. Like, it was not just that he had this kind of game, stats wise. It was the comeback. It was the comeback from the comeback. Like, when the Buccaneers scored that touchdown to go up, at that point, I think it was 35-32 or 35-33, something like that.
Also, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Thanks so much.
Hey, that's a
Tampa Bay Buccaneers ruining everything.
That is a drug I'm trying to put in the rear view because the Panthers are hard enough on a bad spotty.
Oh, yeah. And every week I feel like you continue to be more and more in awe of my ability to receive pain and handle pain.
This at the end of this season, we should just publish every text message I send to you.
Oh gosh,
asking why am I doing this? Why are we doing this to ourselves?
Hello, like I quit this team last year for my mental health.
Yeah. Speaking of Justin Fields, it is a Thursday night game this week against the Chicago Bears. Do we know if Justin is playing?
I don't know. Does it matter?
Yeah, I guess it doesn't.
That's the thing about this Carolina Panthers team, Demetri. And I don't know if you want to get into it now, but they will find a way.
Yeah, let's press pause on that so that I can tell people the midweek talk through, which usually drops on Thursday. It's going to come out on Wednesday of this week. My friend Taylor Dahl, who hosts the Making Monsters podcast, they do very similar to what we do here for the Chicago Bears and their rookie. She is going to be on with me. So that episode drops on Wednesday. Yeah, I thought that this was a nice little crossover opportunity. Lauren, let's dive into what it is I know you want to talk about, because this was the majority of text messages I received from you yesterday watching the game. This was the majority of your Twitter feed. Tell me what you mean by this is an unserious team.
I mean, I would have thought it was self-explanatory, but I will elaborate. This is a team that whenever anything good happens to it, whether it's within a game, within the course of a season, there are exceptions to this. Obviously, we've seen them, but they will take it and they will destroy it.
Yeah.
They will destroy the good thing that just happened through something completely, usually avoidable.
Right.
That's what they do. That is what the Carolina Panthers have always, and it's why they're so frustrating to watch, because like the fact that they even they act like they were making a comeback. That's part of their design. Yeah. No, they want it to hurt you more.
Sure.
They don't very often, which makes sense for a 500 historical franchise, right? Or probably worse. I don't know. It's probably worse than that by now.
Well, while you read, now I got to look that up. Now I want to know.
Whatever. If 500-ish, mediocre, more or less franchise with a few playoff seasons mixed in, obviously, like that is what they do. They just cannot handle anything good happening to them. Right. Big win, potential to carry it over into something more. No, we're just gonna, for some reason, no show against the Indianapolis Colts in a winnable game at home the very next week. Oh, we're starting to make a comeback in said game. Oh, idiot.
472 all-time winning percentage.
Okay, that was close.
Yeah.
But like, it was a tone set, honestly, from the beginning of this game. Like, 3rd and 1.
Yeah.
Bradley Bozeman, false start. I almost threw something. I'm like, why are you like this? You have a 3rd and 1. How often have you had those this season?
Well, yeah, no, I had the exact same thought.
Together, girls. Like, come on, y'all. Get a hold of yourselves.
Yeah.
Like, you're drunk getting kicked out of the club right now. Why are you like this?
Yes, I would even add to that on, again, I go back to
there's more. I can pull up.
I know you do, but I mean, like, listen, there were, like, again, I go back to that drive after the fumbled punt, and like that first play after the fumble recovery. That's when Chuba Hubbard decides he can't get past the line of scrimmage.
Oh my God, I know.
I mean, there was like, again, it's an opportunity to build momentum that they cannot take advantage of.
It's a little bit like a lack of complementary football. Of course, that presupposes that the Panthers ever have 3 decent phases of football at the same time, which is a lot to ask of them, apparently. But like, that's the thing about it too that makes it so frustrating to watch them.
Yeah.
One of the units will make a great play, potentially game-changing play, and the other unit's like, maybe later.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's fair.
And I'm like, why are you this way? Why are you this way? Like, I can't take it. It's so bad. I mean, they had an offsides on a punt late in the game.
Right.
Stop. You're at home.
These are things that do not happen to
serious football teams.
Yes.
Serious football teams where they act like they know how to win any football game ever.
Yeah.
Instead of just like taking anything good that they get and capitalizing on it and, doing this thing. Some teams call it, you can say momentum's a myth, it's whatever. I still think when good things start to happen for you, they can build upon themselves. It doesn't necessarily mean you're definitely winning the game, but that can happen. Like they take whatever momentum they get and just like Tommy boy, It's the pretty little pet. They just massage it. They just destroy it. They destroy it.
There's an unserious comment that I want to address, Lauren, because
there's a lot of unserious things happened yesterday surrounding this football team.
For sure.
Not only their play.
I believe you pronounced this gentleman's last name Fournier, at Fournier Coach. Tweeted. And then he told us to go look at his tweet. That's the only reason I saw it.
I did see your response. Made me laugh.
Just think, Panthers fans. You had 5 opportunities to get Sam Howell. Then you traded your franchise for this.
Okay.
All right. I am totally okay with the upset of not having CJStroud. Totally okay. Because I could see that it was a razor's edge between the two.
For sure.
And it depended on what you were looking for.
And this owner has chosen wrong with quarterback. It's like that's his job.
Yes. And you know what, Lauren? If he had taken Sam Howell, he would have chosen wrong with quarterback.
Right.
Because
he wouldn't do that anyway, because it wouldn't have been impressed his NFL friends enough.
Very true. But here's the thing, and this bothers me so much because this is, and Bradley, I'm not singling you out because you're the only person that said this.
I was going to say, I've gone back and forth with Bradley for years. Good guy.
I'm sure Bradley's a great guy. Yeah. I'm singling you out only because you told me to look at this tweet. I saw this a lot yesterday. I am so sick of you serious UNC football fans acting like because you have a quarterback that was fine, which is one of the best quarterbacks in your history because you're not used to fine at quarterback, that the rest of us have to believe he's great. Sam Howell has thrown more interceptions this year than Bryce Young. And I know that's only one stat, but that is a pretty big one. Right? I know I'm going to have to use little Bryce head bleep a lot in this rant for the people at Origin Sports. But here's my question, and this is my honest question to everybody that points to any quarterback, CJStroud included, but particularly Sam Howell. And says the Panthers could have had him. I'm looking right into the camera when I say this. Do you want, if you're a Panthers fan, do you want Sam Howell, or is what you want Eric Bieniemy? Do you want Sam Howell, or is what you want a receiving core that includes...
Some people might say both. I wouldn't say both, but I mean, Bieniemy, you had me.
We know Bieniemy is a better play caller than what we have right now.
100%.
Do you want Sam Howell, or do you want a receiving core that includes both Jahan Dotson and Terry McLaurin?
De'Ami Brown, pretty good too.
De'Ami Brown, pretty good. Yeah. Listen, I would tell you that McLaurin and Dotson, either one of them, not even both of them, either one of them would give Bryce Young a receiver that can get separation.
Yeah, separation's been honestly the biggest issue because Adam Thielen has been incredibly reliable. I have nothing but good things to say about the way that he's played.
Yes.
But no one else on this team has been even anywhere near as reliable at all. Like even the, Mingo coming out of the preseason, like looking like a promising young receiver, all of a sudden gets, I've got the dropsies.
And last but not least, I want to channel Dabo Swinney here. Bradley.
Okay.
And,
wow.
And ask you this. And again, this is the general thing. What about the Washington Commanders as currently constructed? Makes you think their plan is for Sam Howell to be their quarterback next year. You do not sign up. If you are the owner of the new owner of the Commanders, you do not sign up to be captain of the Death Star if they are not going to let you shoot the big gun.
Right. I mean, even if he were the plan, I don't know if that's something you would want for Sam anyway.
But here's the thing, Lauren. Sam Howell is not going to be your quarterback next year. Ron Rivera is not going to be your coach next year. You don't buy a team and look at it as it is constructed as the Commanders are and say, you know what? 7-10 forever sounds pretty damn good. That's not what's going to happen.
I mean, that's what it seems like they've been doing.
It does seem like that's what they've been doing. But you buy a football team. Look at Dave Tepper. You buy a team thinking, I'm the one that can do better. Sam Howell, instead of Bryce Young, get the out of here.
Good rant. I enjoy it. I will say this, and I told you this via text. I think I get what you're saying about like a fine quarterback. He was a good college quarterback. I mean, definitely one of the best they've had. And I think the other part about Sam that I think gives people...
But he wasn't even considered the best quarterback in a draft that included Kenny Pickett.
No, I know. I'm with you on that. Although I never understood the Pickett thing.
No, I don't understand
but whatever.
the Pickett thing either.
I would have personally had them a little flipped, but that's fine. But only because like with Sam, he had something that honestly, like look at this year's North Carolina team. They don't always have in spades with their best players. And that's like, he was just tough as like that was one of the tougher quarterbacks I've covered. Like he would put his body on the line, even when being an idiot, to do it, to make a play. He would do anything in his power. And he had some great skill guys as well. Like those that running back tandem with Javonte Williams, Michael. I mean, they're both pros. Yep. Like, and then those receivers, like including one that he still has in Diami, like that was a really, really good group around him too, though O-line wasn't good. However, and this is my issue with the Sam Howell thing personally, okay, is that we all know this about Sam. I don't think it's controversial to say that he brings a lot of sacks upon himself. Sure. Like, I think even Sam would tell you it's a flaw in his own game because he wants to wait as long as he can and try to make that play. Like, that's where that toughness can, I guess, maybe sometimes backfire a little bit because it's not leading to good decision making. Yeah. But he takes a lot of unnecessary sacks that are not. So you want to put a guy who holds onto the ball too long, has a documented history of that, even going back to college, still does it in the pros, can be a little careless with the football in general. I don't think Bryce Young was known for that coming into the pros. You want that instead. Like, I understand why y'all like Sam and care about Sam. I do. I genuinely do. He was super fun to watch. He took you out of 2 straight 2-9 seasons and showed you what, good quarterback play looked like after, it'd been a while. But I don't understand the logic here, like from an NFL perspective whatsoever.
You might as well be telling me I wish we had Charlie Choo Choo Justice instead of
okay, well, let's
Bryce Young.
Okay, it's not that bad. Like, I think Sam is going to have a long NFL career. Like, he would be a fantastic backup to have around. To say.
Like, I'm sure he will as a backup.
Do I think he could step in and take a team on a playoff run? 100%.
You know what his ceiling is? His ceiling is his current backup, Jacoby Brissett, who could step in and be a serviceable starter.
I'm so happy for both, for Brissett too. I love Brissett.
Yes.
But I was going to say even, I don't know, it's like Ryan Tannehill too much, but ish.
I think that's a little bit high, but I get what you're saying. As your franchise
guy, it's not going to work.
No.
But if that's your backup, you're gold.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Listen, please like and subscribe. Even you, Bradley Fournier. I apologize you got singled out. I do appreciate it.
It's not you, it's everyone.
That's right. You caught a stray that was meant for the larger UNC/Panther fan base.
And I told shout out to, I think it was Treaticus 33, if I'm off the top of my head, but he asked me how do you feel about Bryce, again, was considering what CJ did today. And I think I addressed the framing, but I just wanted him to know I wasn't going to dodge the question. I think the framing is what's off in the question, not addressing whether or not something's wrong with Bryce. Obviously that was a lot wrong.
Is that the one is that the one I replied to saying that I was going to block and report for hate speech?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. I stand by it. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the show. And by the way, we've got a little Christmas contest going on. Lauren and I are going to decorate your home for the holidays, but we need you to do something for us first. And that is, please go to whatever your podcast platform of choice is. And Joe Ovia says YouTube can be included in this. Okay. So like and subscribe to the channel, leave a rating, and then also write a review, because that is how more people are going to find this show, right? That is what helps us. What helps you is take a screenshot of your review, send it to us, along with a picture of the front of your house so we can get an idea of what we're working with. All you have to do is be in the triangle, right? I know from looking at stats, we have listeners in Alabama. We have listeners in the Triad. Sorry, this is not open to you. It's got to be somewhere we can drive to. So take a picture, take a screenshot, send it to the oggoesdigital@gmail.com, and we are going to pick a winner at random right after Thanksgiving. And then we will figure out how we're going to do this. We are actually figuring this out on the fly. So it could be we come to your house and decorate. It could be one of us comes to your house and decorates.
I'm happy to come.
Yeah.
Don't know how much labor I can give you right now in my current physical condition.
Fair.
However, I'm also very bad. I have a very bad eye for these things, but I will do my absolute best. Listen, and Demetri's very good at this.
Lauren, it is very possible this could just be we'll just pay some money to have someone else go do it. But one way or the other, Lauren and I are going to decorate your house for the holidays. Yes. Remember the email address, theoggoesdigital@gmail.com. All of our social media channels, you will have all of the rules and stuff in front of you, so it is easy to find.
Does that mean we can do lawn inflatables?
Lauren, you know what? That might just make this easier than anything. They do make a lawn inflatable that I really love, which is Santa in an outhouse. because I really love the Christmas season and also taking a poo finally coming together.
That's the true Southerner coming out in you, for sure. That's something you only see down here.
Yeah. Let's talk about real quick the Xavier Woods hit on Michael Pittman.
Speaking of penalties, although I was not mad at them for that one.
Sure.
Like, what a joke was that penalty. Like, I was sitting there in shock. I'm like, what exactly? Like, I was expecting, because sometimes in real time, you can't always tell. His hit on Michael Pittman. Yeah. And Michael Pittman, shout out my fantasy receiver last year that did quite well for me. So I've always liked him. But anyway, he hits him and they both were like down for a while. It was a hard hit. It was a hard collision, but he hit him in the shoulder. Like, I kept looking. I was like, did I miss something? I'm like rewinding. I'm like, what? And then CJStroud, who by the way, I feel like the NFL consultants largely, not all of them, the referee consultants always cape for their dudes. And it's so annoying. Don't bother having them on if all they're going to do is defend a awful call.
So like Gene is also the referee consultant for the SEC on CBS. And there he does something a little bit different, which is whatever Gary Danielson says, he's just learned to say, yeah, sure, Gary, whatever you say.
Right.
And so there are a lot of reasons I just dislike CJStroud as a rules analyst. And yesterday, like, watching the slow-mo replay, when it's clear that it is the wrong call.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, I didn't understand that. It was a game-changing call.
Yeah. Like,
literally, they scored 2 plays later, and everyone was shook after that. Like, the stadium was shook. They were pissed.
Yep.
The players were probably shook and pissed. Like, because I'm sorry, where do you want me to tackle him?
Yeah.
Where's the friendly tackle area?
Yeah.
Can you mark it? Like, can you do a circle around it so that we know? Like, I would have been shaking him too.
Let's put up the quote from Michael Pittman Jr. after the game here. This is what he had to say with media availability on the Xavier Woods hit. Quote, I think it was a clean hit. I would rather him hit me the way he did than hit me up top. Fortunately, we did get the call and that helped us score, but I really think it was a clean hit. Sometimes you got and he got me.
Okay. And you know what? Like, I respect that so much, actually, because like, it's not Michael Pittman's fault. Like, right. Michael Pittman didn't throw the flag. He didn't do an acting job or anything like that. Was legitimately a hard hit.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think this too.
And he didn't have to say anything.
So I'm gonna compare this to the Alabama LSU game on Saturday night, because Dallas Turner should have been called for targeting on that hit that took Jalen Daniels out of the game, or Jalen Daniels out of the game.
Yeah, for sure.
He should have been 100%.
Bama gets the call.
Of course they do. We are.
I mean, let's be honest. Well, at least you lean into it. I appreciate that.
No, for sure. But the other thing here is like that was 100% roughing and by letter of the law. And I think when we think of targeting,
targeting, I think people is so misunderstood by people.
Because people assume that must mean intent,
right?
Because of the name. By letter of the law, that was targeting, right? And rather than...
Yeah, that's where it was confusing to me.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. By letter of the law, that one was targeting. By letter of the law, this one was not. I think in both of those situations, it tells you, or it shows you, if you ever had any doubt, these guys cannot process a letter of the law in real time. And by these guys, I mean the players, but also in the case of the Xavier Woods. Right. It's hard to make that call in real time.
Sometimes they just think like something looks bad. Like, I think there was a play I was watching in a game yesterday where, I think it was in the Chiefs game, where like they threw a flag for PI, but like, no, it was maybe the Panthers game, where like 2 people ran into each other.
Yes.
2 receivers ran into each other and they threw a flag. And I'm like, they literally just saw a receiver fall down and threw a flag. Like, that's bad.
Yeah.
That is a bad state of times we are living in, because if they'd been watching, they would have seen they hit each other.
Right.
But they weren't. They saw someone fall out of the corner of their eye, and the precious, like, offensive minded refs were like, flag.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing too, is
I
wonder how much of the attitude you have to have for calling.
They picked it up at least, but still.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wonder how much the attitude you have to have of calling plays that are reviewable has seeped into the way you call penalties.
I think 100%.
Because the referee has been taught that it is better to call the game or call the play in whatever way keeps the play going, because you can go back and review.
Because then you can go back and correct. But guess what? On hits like the Xavier Woods hit, you can't.
Yeah.
And that's where it's infuriating to me. Like, a play that important, I think, especially like a play that somebody could get like fined over.
Yep.
And we're seeing the fines get like out of control.
Yeah.
We saw a fullback. Bless the Ravens for still having a fullback. I love that so much.
Big Gus.
But like, it was somebody else, I think. But either way, he like barreled over some dudes. Like, he went, just this way.
Yep.
And he got fined $21,000 for that. He pushed everyone into the end zone with it. It was beautiful. It was fullback at its best.
Be sure and join us every Tuesday night on Origin Sports at 7 p.m. Come on, we got to have...
I can't stand this team sometimes.
We got to have group therapy all together every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. By the way, I watched on Tuesday night last week. Do you know that we are run like back-to-back, like Mad Men in the old days? So if you missed it at 7, we come right back at 7:30.
It's beautiful.
It really is. Just like Mad Men, one of the great treasures of television. Young Gun on Origin Sports TV. A Thursday game this week, Lauren.
Gross.
Yeah. Here's what's disappointing. I told you this before we started recording. I told you this at the beginning of the show. The Texans should have been the start of something. That game against the Texans should have been the start of something because you had 3 easily gettable games.
No, it's just all an elaborate ruse to make everyone think things were better.
Do we just need to make other plans for Thursday night?
What do you mean?
I mean, why? Coming off of this game, I just felt like, God, why bother? We're only halfway done. And why bother?
Honey, you know how many times I ask myself that question a year lately, especially in the Tepper era?
Yeah.
Quite frequently.
You just want to go see Killers of the Flower Moon? I haven't seen it yet. I'd really like to.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Are we going at 2:00?
I mean, yeah, that's the problem. It's a 3.5 hour movie. I kind of want to time it immediately with the start of this game because
see what ends first.
Here's the problem.
Well, you're gonna have to add the 20 minutes of previews or whatever. I saw PawPatrol movie yesterday. By the way, that is my lead in for the Panthers game.
Yeah.
I was already on edge. I was pissed. I was annoyed. It was so loud in there. It was chaos. Kids going everywhere, just running around. It was horrible. At
the end, was Adventure Bay okay?
What do you think? No, it was wiped out. It was destroyed. All the entirety of the pups are now in shelters. I mean, I'm just trying to find the most dystopian ending for you.
If a dog shelter takes, let's say, Rubble, he's the only good dog in Paw Patrol. No, I'm sorry. No, Rubble's not a good example here. What's the one that is a cop? Because he has a
Case?
Yeah, sure. He has a helicopter attached to him, right? Does the shelter have to take the helicopter, or does that get thrown away or donated?
Well, this one's all about them becoming super dogs with crystals.
Oh no, I don't care.
So getting superpowers. Okay. I'm not joking. It's ridiculous.
Does the evil mayor of the town over with bad cats still exist?
Yes, he was in jail in the beginning. And
it feels like that should be a scandal.
A mad scientist that invited the meteors to Earth somehow through science that I wasn't really completely following because I couldn't hear. She got the crystals to Earth in the first place, and she was also in jail. So they hatched their little plot together, which was not that elaborate because literally the dogs just kept bringing them the crystals when they came to try to fight them. Sky, I'm sorry, and sorry for the spoilers if you've seen it. Or if you haven't seen it and you're going. But for Sky to be like, I'm just going to take her. She got her crystal stolen by the bad guys. So she thought, I'll take everyone else's power crystals and just borrow them and go get mine back.
Wait.
They immediately were stolen back.
Sky.
No one's using their brain in this movie. No one. It was unacceptable. I was just like, what is this? Why do you keep doing this? You couldn't protect your one crystal last time with your powers. Why would you bring everyone else's there?
And it dawns on me as you're saying this. My son, by the way, my son was 6 as Paw Patrol was coming on. So I got a year of hardcore exposure and then it just disappeared from my life. Sky is the one with the helicopter, right? Hence the name.
I think so. She was the runt of her litter. We learn a lot. We get Sky's origin story, which no one asked for. Probably.
Laura, do we have a scene?
It's not nearly a fun enough movie.
Do we have a scene of Sky's parents being shot in Crime Alley as the Joker gets away?
No, we only have a scene of all of her puppy brothers and sisters. This was sad actually. Being picked before her.
Yeah.
Because she was the runt. She couldn't eat out of the bowl. That was sad because she was too small to get in amongst her brothers and sisters. So, I mean, once they left, obviously it was fine, but she was still very sad. She literally had to chase after. Is Riley? That's the human's name, I think.
Ryder,
whatever. Anyway, she literally had to chase after Ryder, who was like, yeah, I don't need any puppies. and then he leaves on a snowmobile. She chases.
Boy, was Ryder wrong
about
himself.
The puppy chases after Ryder and almost dies in the snow before she gets lucky that apparently Ryder had an accident and like he got stuck behind. And he's like, "Oh, puppy, you're stuck in the snow. I'll take you." I'm like, this is very dark.
I love kids' movies that are clearly just written via Mad Lib.
Like, what are we doing here?
I think I would be okay with being the runt of the litter and having to eat last if I got a helicopter.
She's got a bit of a Napoleon complex, though. You know, she's trying. She's got something to prove as the small one, so she ruins everything.
Is there another girl pup now?
Yes. I forgot her name.
All right.
I blocked out a lot of that experience because it was quite unpleasant.
That was new since I last watched Paw Patrol. Well, see you next week, everybody.